Hello, today I want to talk about something that happens to many of us, and that is we lose our motivation. A lot of times when we start off and we say we want to learn a language, we are all gung-ho, we start off really strong every day, we're practicing, we're learning, we're memorizing words, and then within time, it just kind of falls off. All of a sudden, we're just not doing it anymore. But don't worry, it happens to everyone. I'm going to give you 5 tips today of how to regain and maintain your motivation. Now I'm going to be talking about language learning because pretty much that's what my channel is about and that's what I'm doing. But you can apply these tips to pretty much any goal, anything that you're trying to achieve. So the first one is, if you have not done this already, you probably need to do it immediately. Think about the reason why you wanted to learn a language in the first place. Whether it was to get a job, you wanted to travel to another country where the language is spoken, or you just want to communicate with people, maybe people that are around you, or you just have a love for the culture. Whatever the reason, just think about that reason, because there was something that made you want to just dive in and learn a whole new language. So think of that reason and write it down somewhere. It's really important to write it down somewhere where you're not going to forget where you put it. So I don't know whether it's like beside your bed, on a nightstand, or taped onto your mirror. I actually have a notebook where I write down all the vocabulary that I'm learning in my language, and I wrote it inside of the notebook because I know that I'm looking at that notebook every day, and you don't need to look at yours every day. You just need to know where it is during times when you think you're losing your motivation. The next thing you need to do is you need to find someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve. You can find people who are learning languages, if that's your thing, on social media like YouTube, Instagram. You should be able to find someone who has achieved what you want to achieve. Following someone on social media is very useful because it's going to keep you motivated. You're going to see that person regularly doing what it is that you want to do. You know, you can get a little healthy envy going like, wow, look at this person, look what they're able to do. I want to be able to do that. I'm going to do that. And if that person can do it, I can do it. So it also reminds you that it is possible to achieve this goal. Sometimes when we are in the midst of learning and we think, oh, this is never gonna happen. I'm never gonna be able to speak this language. I am never gonna be able to understand this language. I am never gonna be able to read in this language. Sometimes we might get discouraged when it just seems like it is such a huge mountain to climb. But if we see a person that has achieved what we wanna achieve, that's gonna remind us that we can be there too. And it's gonna keep your eye on the prize. The third thing you need to do, if you've already lost your motivation and you want to start back again, just take small steps. You know, I know sometimes you're thinking, okay, no, I'm going to get back into it and I'm going to study 4 hours a day. Well, that might be a little bit too much because what might happen, you might experience burnout. Maybe it wouldn't happen to you, but it's okay to just come back in and start in small steps. Maybe you take 10 minutes a day at first, and then maybe gradually, if each week you can add more minutes. Just take small little steps so that you don't burn yourself out, and then just increase in time. The fourth thing that you need to do is you need to celebrate your small achievements. Now, I don't really believe in small achievements because I think that an achievement is an achievement. When you're learning a language, if you learn a new word and you remember that word, especially when you get to that intermediate phase and it's harder to learn the new words because they're lower frequency words, that is not a small achievement. And you might think to yourself, well, it's just one word. No, that's one word less than you knew the day before. I have a notebook where I write down each day things that I do. If my achievement is, okay, I learned the days of the week, I will write that down. This is what I did this day. And maybe every day is too much. You might want to write down every week what you've done, what you have achieved. Even if it's just a little bit, writing down and celebrating those achievements, letting yourself know that you are progressing, you're one step closer to your goal, that's going to help keep you motivated. And the last thing that you really need to do is to find a community of people who are involved in the same thing that you are doing. If you're learning a language, you can find a community, and they don't even have to be learning the same language that you are. And you're going to be able to relate to each other in order to help keep each other motivated, because you're going to have the same struggles. No matter what the language is, they're going to be able to say, oh yes, I'm going through the same thing you're going through. And it's really helpful to know that you're not alone, that there are other people struggling the same way, so you don't get discouraged and think, oh, well, maybe this just isn't for me. No, other people go through the same thing. So it's really important that you find a community so that you can talk about your achievements and celebrate together, and you can talk about your struggle and help each other through them. And you can find this community. There are Facebook groups or you can start a Facebook group if there aren't any, but there are Facebook groups of people who are learning languages. There are people in other parts of social media, and if you're not a person that's into social media, then how did you find this video? But really, social media is a good thing. Social networking, that's why it's there. It's in order to network with other people who have similar interests and similar goals. And also, you need an accountability partner. An accountability partner is someone with whom you can be very, very honest. You can talk to on a regular basis, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly, and you know that you're gonna have to report what you've done and your progress to this person. And the reporting is not so that they can judge you and say, why haven't you done more this week or this month? No. It's only so they can support you. And it really needs to be someone who, they don't need to really do the same thing that you're doing. Maybe they may have health-related goals and they're trying to reach a goal, lose a certain amount of pounds or something like that. As long as it's someone who is actually trying to achieve something like you're trying to achieve something, you can hold each other accountable. You can report and say, well, how's it been going? And maybe one week the person may say, oh, it's not going so good with my goal. I kind of fell off a little bit because I've been a little busy, or maybe I've been sick or whatever. It kind of makes a difference when you know that you're going to have to report to a person. You're more likely to get up during those days when you just really don't feel like doing anything. You're more likely to do it when you know that you're going to have to report to that person. There's just something about knowing that you're going to tell somebody what you've done or what you haven't done that's gonna make you really more motivated to do it. So I really hope that this has helped you. Please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, or tell me how you keep motivated in doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. Until next time, ciao ciao.